So we are gonna get started.
Okay.
This is Christy. Christy's she's our Native American for our culture assignment. Um, I'm gonna start now by asking the questions.
My name is Christy Falcon. I am representing the Lippin Apache Native Americans from Corpus Christi, Texas.
Okay. We're gonna start with language and communication. How was your language derived and developed?
Our language is a mixture of Lippin Apache and Spanish because of the Spaniards that came. We use symbols and different vowels, like Tawankata is meaning buffalo, so you would never hear that in a regular phrase.
Okay. Okay. Does your language use symbols instead of written words?
Some do, we do. We also have regular alphabet with accent marks over them or under them. We do have symbols in our writings and storytelling.
Do you currently speak Native American?
I speak very few words. I know the buffalo, Tawankatas. I know about my dream catchers and some ceremonial religious aspects.
Is eye contact important when
Yes.
speaking?
Yes, I'm sorry to jump in there, but yes, eye contact is very important in Native Americans. It is a show of respect.
I know some cultures feel like it's disrespectful to make eye contact, so I'm not sure, I forgot what culture it was, but I know they prefer to look down at the floor.
Asians don't like to make contact, but Native Americans, at least in general, but if you're staring like hardcore, then yeah, that's kind of rude.
Okay. Do women have an input with a situation?
Oh, in Native American culture, definitely. They are the household makers, the fire to the home.
All right. Now we're going to move on to religious beliefs and practices. Does your culture have a limit to the amount of children one can have?
No, the more the merrier.
Okay. Are there any food groups that are specific? Are there any food groups that are specific to your culture?
Mostly wild game was the traditional thing. Berries and fish, fresh fish. Now it's Whataburger, McDonald's, and yet we still hold some value to our meals. There is the cornbread or fried bread, and then there's also you do not cook anything more than you plan to eat.
Okay. Does your culture believe in the same race marriage?
Traditionally, no. Acceptance has been overcame.
Okay. Is there a particular day that you guys worship?
Every day is considered sacred. Mornings are usually the time of day that's considered sacred because it's a meaning of a new day.
Okay. Okay.
Highlighting features.
Exactly. Okay. Now we're going to discuss illness and health issues most common in your culture.
Okay.
Are there any illnesses that affect your race in particular?
The main illness is, I would say, diabetes, overweight. We do have a problem with alcoholism in Native American culture. It is a big thing.
Okay. Does your culture use herbal remedies or seek professional help?
Herbal remedies are always something prior to medical profession, only because they don't trust the white man to give them medicine because of past history has told us that they do more harm than good.
Okay. Kind of similar to our culture.
Yeah, they gave them cough syrup, and it was very addicting.
Mhm.
And they wouldn't seek help. They only wanted the syrup, and that's how it got triggered to having that addiction to that. So,
Okay. Does your culture believe that you are being punished if you are sick?
yes, there are several tribes that believe that if you are ill, it is because you done something wrong in your past life, or you have done something within this life that is not worth you being well.
Okay. How does your religion view death?
Oh, it is very sacred. Death is something that you honor. From some tribes to my own tribe, we celebrate that they are moving on to a better life.
Okay. How are loved ones buried?
Traditionally, in the Native Americans or the Plains, Texas Indians, it was on stilts because it was always flooding. They were on stilts above the sky so they can reach the next life.
Okay. Okay. We're moving on to cultural healing, beliefs, and practices. Does your culture use any herbal or any type of earthbound medicines?
Yes, we do. We use several medicines that help cleanse your soul or cleanse your body. One in particular that I brought today was sage, and sage is burnt in home. Right now, I have it in a shell because of ashes and stuff. Don't worry, we're not burning it here at the school. Sage is wrapped in twine. Back then, it was very dried vine. You would pluck it. The women would prepare it for the home. Before we would do it, we would bless the men. The men would burn the sage, and the procedure goes: they would light it up, and they would cleanse themselves, starting with the top of their head. You know how babies have the fontanelle up here,
Yes.
and they say that that's your opening to you. So you would bless it, and you would make sure you would get your head, the top part of entering your mind.
Okay.
And then the second would be your heart, because you want to cleanse your heart from all evil. And then, of course, the rest of your body. Then they started using sage within their homes. Then it was teepees, but that was burnt anyway. Now I burn it every once in a while in my home just to cleanse, a monthly little thing, just to make sure that I feel one with my history.
Okay. Does your culture praise or worship environmental marks such as the sun, trees, and birds?
Yes, back home, Native Americans used to mark trees and bend them when they were really young treelings to make them point in directions to know where to travel. We also use regular twigs and twine to make our dream catchers. As you can tell, this is not a perfect circle like in most traditional views. We do use wood beads. Recently, or 500 years ago, we ended up getting glass beads from the Europeans. We use natural products of shell and feathers, rope or twine, and twigs.
Okay. We're going to move on to family values, systems, and lifestyle.
Okay.
Does your culture believe that a man holds all power within the relationship?
No, not all power. It is a shared, combined union.
Okay. Is the wife considered the stay-at-home and take care of the family type of figure within the relationship?
No. Traditionally back then, yes, the wife stayed at home and did the work, but it was a lot of work. It was like preparing for sacramental ceremonies or preparing home for the next meal and whatnot. But this day and age, they both work towards the relationship.
Okay. But and as you mentioned, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
And as you mentioned before, it was the women that actually blessed the men, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is the marital process different from the American process?
Traditionally, yes, there are several steps that the marriage process takes. One, that the new mother-in-law will have to defend her daughter-in-law from her family, meaning the daughter would come, or the daughter-in-law to be would come and stay with the mother and learn the dishes that she would make for her son, this, that, and the third. But also, the mother-in-law had her family with her. So if the family member ended up teasing and taunting the daughter-in-law to be and did not stick up for her, then that marriage was not going to continue. But if she stuck up for her, it showed that she does like her and that she is worthy of her son. And it showed that, that the marriage would continue from there.
Okay.
Another ceremonial thing is the red blanket while they are performing the vows, and that is to unite the couple together. Red is a very sacral religious color, so they would wrap them up in a red blanket, and they would make sure that they were bound together forever.
Okay. All right. What is the biggest family value, or do you have one in particular?
Mine, our family has always been respect. You respect all those that you are with. Your family is the main thing. You respect your elders and you give love. You will always love your family no matter what craziness that they might do.
I agree. Okay, our next session, we're going to talk about typical diets and preparation. Is there a particular diet that the culture consumes?
As I mentioned before, it was dry berries, fresh fruit, deer, buffalo, any gamey meat, fish. Some of my family members still practice with the hunt and the cooking. Actually, one of my uncles has a farm that has nothing but buffalo, so he'll prepare buffalo meat and stuff like that.
Okay. What is your culture's point of view on processed food?
At first it was really bad. My great-grandfather hated gluttony or the fact of wasting food, so we never really had a lot of that. As times have changed, it's whatever I can get my kids at the next meal before soccer and before school is what they're going to get to eat.
Okay. Are there certain animals or foods that are forbidden in your culture?
The eagle was considered sacred, but other than that, you'll eat turtle, you'll eat rabbit, you'll eat anything that you can find. Once in a while, I will go back home to Texas and let my uncle cook and not tell my kids what it is, so they can try it out and then tell them after the fact, which they'll be all like, yum, it's good, or no, we're good.
Okay. Does your culture or you believe in saying men should eat first?
No, we believe that the elders or those that are older than us eat first, whether they be men or women. We feed our elders and respect them because they hold more to our traditions, our life, our everything.
Okay. Does your culture believe that hunting is the way to receive food, or has that changed?
Hunting was a way to see food or get food. It has changed with times, but once in a while, we go for deer season, pigeon season, or dove season, or turkey, so we like to still hunt.
Okay. All right. Well, that concludes our questions. I would like to know the purpose of the blanket, if you don't mind.
So a few years back, when I left home from Texas, I didn't realize how important culture was until I was away from it. So when me and my fiance at the time decided to start going to powwows in Georgia, where we were stationed, he purchased this blanket as a representation of my first powwow out of state, and now I carry this in my home. It is very important that I keep base with my roots, even though I'm not home. I'm in Alabama now, so it's fun. DeSoto Caverns here in Alabama have a great powwow once or twice a year, and they have wonderful things that everyone should go check out, just to be aware of other cultures.
Okay. Alrighty, that concludes our interview.